What is going on, everybody? The original Mako back with some more Gunfire Reborn content, and today is a great day because it's patch day, and not just any normal patch. We actually have a lot of new stuff in this patch, so that's exciting to talk about. Now, if you want to see me test out all the new stuff in this patch live, check out the Twitch link down below. I'm streaming Monday through I'm streaming like 5 days a week, having a lot of fun. Check that out. I'd really appreciate it. That's where I am most of the time. That's where you can catch most of my content, so I'd really appreciate it if you check that out. But that being said, let's not waste any more time, shall we? And let's go ahead and get into the patch notes here and just talk through them, give my initial thoughts, and see where we go from there. So, update notes on 8.25. What's up, folks? In this update, we're going to have a new challenge, Reincarnation level 9. Within this challenge, the attributes of enemies will not continue to increase. So, based on what I assume that means with attributes is that they're not just going to keep being more and more of a giant punching bag. So they're not going to get more health, more damage, I guess. I think health is kind of the big one. They're not going to get more health. Their skills will be enhanced. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means that, bandit retainers are now going to be doing fucking backflips and, quick scoping or some hitting YY ladder stalls maybe. I don't know. But the skills of all monsters will be enhanced. Furthermore, the challenge events might be more formidable. I hate the sound of that. Demanding careful consideration in your approach. Besides, we've made iterative adjustments to the gameplay of the Hedgehog, which we'll talk about. Introducing a new option of Bizarre Dream, Mission from Above. Additionally, the boss Gluttony, Big Boy, will now join the ranks of randomly encountered mainline bosses. I believe Gluttony is now a random option for the final boss of the game, so you can get Gluttony instead of the Polar Bear at the end. And then wishing you all an enjoyable gaming experience. Also, limited time discount from now until next week, for about a week. So, if you don't have the game and you want to get the game, it is discounted. So, pog. Anyway, stage, the new difficulty level, Reincarnation level 9, unlocks after you beat Reincarnation 8. No attribute growth compared to level 8, so the enemies will have the same health stats and damage, theoretically. Enemies' skills are enhanced. Check in the preparation room. I don't know what this... To me, this sounds like when you go to the place with the campfire and the mushroom man, you're going to see something somewhere that'll tell you what the enhancement is for that entire stage. That's what that's what the preparation room, I think, is. I'm not positive about that, but that's what I would assume. And I still don't know what enemies' skills are enhanced means. I haven't played yet. We'll have to find out. More dangerous scene challenges, which sounds horrendous, but we'll see how those go. And more crazy enemy affixes. So enemies are going to have, I don't know if there's going to be any new affixes or if the old ones are just going to be supercharged God mode. But that's all stuff we're just going to have to find out by playing the game. So, Bizarre Dream, new gameplay option, Mission from Above. Players will encounter a training master randomly within stages and undertake various forms of tasks from him. Blessings and misfortunes would be obtained simultaneously. Players should choose suitable tasks based on internal and external situations. Only by completing tasks can misfortunes be removed. Otherwise, misfortunes will persist through the end of the game. This is another one that's kind of hard to grasp what it really is without playing. But it basically just sounds like some guy's going to show up in the middle of the run with some sort of task for you. And you're going to get some kind of good thing and some kind of bad thing by doing these tasks. And you can get rid of tasks by doing more of the missions throughout the run. That's what it seems like. Gonna have to try it out and see how it works in real, in practice. But seems interesting. I kind of like games that give you, assuming it's optional tasks throughout them. Interdependent Fortune Occult Scrolls update. So this is interesting. I don't know what exactly this is. New monster scrolls. So I don't know if this is like what the skills are enhanced thing is. It might be. But essentially, these are scrolls that monster enemies can have, is what it sounds like. So one of them, Iron Circuit, when getting injured, excess damage above total max HP will be reduced, and 70% of remaining damage will be shared with other carriers. So it sounds like some of the damage being taken gets shared to other monsters that have this. So you're doing less damage to the it's like built-in loyalty, kind of. That's what it sounds like. Nirvana Force. When this enemy is defeated, there's a 50% chance to deal 20% of current total HP as damage to players that are within 5 meters. So if you one-shot an enemy, that would be 20% of their max HP as damage, and there's a 50% chance to do that to all players within 5 meters. Lucky Roulette. After dealing damage, change a player's copper coin amount by -7 to +3. I mean that I don't know what that means. I mean, change it by -7 to +3. If it was just -7, I would say, okay, so when you get hit by this enemy, you lose 7 coins. But then what the hell's the +3? You get 3 of them back for some reason? I don't know. Piercing Bullet. After dealing damage, it prevents the player from healing for 3 seconds, and that can occur every 5 seconds, which is this is a really annoying one, actually. And then Explosive Magazine deals 10% of the player's current total health as damage to players within 5 meters with each attack. So the monsters kind of get an Explosive Magazine there. Once again, not sure if these are like part of Reincarnation 9 or what exactly these are. I have to assume it's part of Reincarnation 9, but I don't know. Also, they made some adjustments. Flesh and Bones. Convert all shield/armor to health and recover 3% max HP per second. And then this says decrease 80% to 90% deficiency for elite enemies. I don't know what that is. So, and then Shrine of Recovery, optimize the HP recovery mechanism of occult scrolls. So, those are some adjustments to the monster scrolls. It sounds like. Here's the new random boss. Players can encounter Gluttony in the final boss selection. By defeating the Pole Monarch 3 times, you will unlock the new final boss. And then they added some more random routes to some stages of the desert and the final stage. And then players in spectating would be revived automatically when other players defeated the final boss of the game, which doesn't really matter to me, but a little bit of optimization for the game. Heroes. Okay, so here they iterated the Hedgehog, and by iterated, they just fully reworked the Hedgehog. So it's kind of like a completely brand new character based on what I kind of very, very briefly glanced through yesterday. It goes all the way down to here. These are all changes to the Hedgehog. And the Hedgehog is my least played character. So honestly, considering there's still a decent amount of stuff to talk about after the Hedgehog, and the fact that I don't think I'm really qualified to talk about the new versus old of all these because I barely used them. What I'm going to do is sit here for a second. If you want to read about the new turtle changes, pause. You can pause the video, read through them. I just don't really want to talk about them because I don't think I'd have any very valuable input at all as to if these changes are good, bad, how I feel about them. I don't know. I think I am going to try to play the Hedgehog more now that he's completely reworked. I'm just going to, I don't know, try him out, think of him as a new character. But here's the first part here. Scroll down. Another big set of stuff here if you'd like to pause here again. And then we will go down to the last little bit here. They removed some ascensions, added some ascensions, adjusted all the spiritual blessings. I mean, spiritual ascensions, they adjusted literally everything with this guy. So here it is. Here's all of the different parts of the Hedgehog changes if you want to go through and read all of them. There you go. Now, we'll get into some of the other stuff. Iteration of the monkey. They didn't really do too much here. They just, the old version of reversed was you get minus half a second, 1 and 1.5 seconds remaining cooldown of Soul Strike every time you defeat an enemy with it. The new one is you just get a flat cooldown for Soul Strike, and the level 3 effect is you get an extra capacity of Soul Strike. So doesn't matter how many times you kill an enemy, you just get a flat cooldown for the ability. Now, we have some Occult Scrolls adjustments. We'll go through each of these and see how we feel about them. Explosive Bullets, the old one. Non-elemental weapons will cause an additional explosion upon shooting, dealing damage equivalent to 100% of the weapon's base damage. New is non-elemental weapons will cause an additional explosion upon shooting, dealing damage equivalent to 50% of weapon damage. So it's not just going off base damage now. So if you have any sort of things that are upgrading weapon damage or make your weapon damage higher, then you're gonna, this is potential benefit for you, just depending on what your weapon damage is. It still has this 2-second cooldown. Once again, this is still a grade scroll. It's just extra damage output that you're getting. So fun and exciting. The enhanced one, I think they kind of, for the enhanced one, it's the exact same thing, but it's all weapons, not just non-elemental weapons. So there you go. Resolute, the old one, is plus 50% movement speed and 25% damage when your shield and armor is 0, but it doubles the time a shield rests before recharging. Now, you get plus 50% movement speed and plus 50% damage when your shield plus armor is 0, but it's plus 300% the time a shield rests before recharging. This is by far, this is a, honestly, okay, for me, the way I play, this is a buff to this scroll, because I would never ever take Resolute unless I had the bird with armor, so I can get my armor back whenever I want, or if I was playing with like Flesh and Bones and I did not have any armor and I just got a permanent buff. Doubling a time that a shield rests before recharging is really, really bad in pretty much any scenario, and then plus 300% is even worse. So for me, this is just a buff because I would never take it where this is even a factor, so that's fine by me. But yeah, that 300% is insane amount of time before you can get your shield back. Next up, we got Sanguine Relic. The old version was plus 3% lifesteal, plus 50% max HP, and plus 50% damage taken. Now, it's plus 50% max HP, plus 50% damage taken, but you recover 30% of your lost health when you deal damage every time, and you can do that every half a second. So, if you lose HP, you can recover 30% of it instantly every half a second. So, I think reading this, it sounds like it's much better than just flat lifesteal, because lifesteal, I don't know. Because once again, I'm trying to think of the scenarios where I would take Sanguine Relic, and there are few, if any, really, because the biggest problem is still this, the plus 50% damage taken. Plus 50% damage taken on higher difficulties is, you're flirting with getting one shot by a lot of things. So, I don't know. I'll definitely have to try it. I think just to see if it feels better than Sanguine Relic before. But with that 50% damage taken still there, I don't think it's going to really help it out too much. And then Enhanced Sanguine Relic. The old one was you would only take plus 50% damage when your health is full. The new one is plus 50% max HP, and you recover 30% of your lost HP when dealing damage every time. So the enhanced version is insane because you don't take any extra damage at all. There's just no extra damage taken. So Enhanced Sanguine Relic is phenomenal. The original one, not sure. Gonna have to figure it out. Fire Enthusiast. The old version, whenever you inflict the burning effect to enemies, you also inflict it on yourself, where you take continuous damage. When you are burning, fire damage causes 2% lifesteal. New one is whenever you inflict the burning effect to enemies, also inflict it onto yourself. When you are in burning, you recover 20% of your lost HP for every fire damage, every half a second. So, once again, kind of similar to, they're kind of rewording lifesteal is what it essentially sounds like here. So instead of having 2% lifesteal, then every time you do burning to an enemy, you're recovering 20% of your lost HP every half a second. So once again, this is another one where I'm gonna kind of have to go in and see if this feels better than lifesteal, or sort of how it feels compared to lifesteal to really see if it's better. So yeah, they changed that. They changed the Enhanced Fire Enthusiast. The new one, it's the exact same as the old one, but it's once again, instead of the 2% lifesteal, it's the 20% lost HP for every fire damage that you do. So interesting with the whole lifesteal to lost HP percentage thing. We're just gonna have to figure that one out. The old airbag was minus 2% HP per second, and when your shield and armor is full, you recover 100% of your health and negate excess damage when your shield and armor gets fully broken. The new one is minus 4 HP per second when your shield / armor is full. Now you recover, everything else is the exact same, but you just lose 4 health per second instead of 2%, which is fine, because the goal of airbag is to get down to as little health as possible, so that way your airbag activates. So it's fine. And then the enhanced version, exact same thing. The only change is instead of minus 2% health per second, you're getting minus 4% health per second. Fish or bear paw. Okay, so when I was reading through this one yesterday, it made 0 sense to me at all. So I'm hoping maybe somebody in the comments can explain this one, or I'm just gonna have to go in and test it to see what the hell it means. This is a little bit of a translation problem, I think. So the old fish or bear paw was you lose 40% weapon damage and every attack hits twice. This is effective on up to 15 projectiles, and for every excess projectile, you get increased weapon damage. Old fish or bear paw is phenomenal. It is one of the best scrolls in the game. It's ridiculous. So good. The new one, when shooting, there is a 1 to 3.5% current projectiles percentage to 50% total damage, but you deal extra damage once. So I don't know what exactly. It sounds like the amount of damage you lose is based on your current projectiles, but so like the more current projectiles you have, the less, like the more damage you're gonna lose, but you're still dealing extra damage once. So either way, it looks like the maximum you can do is minus 50%. So if that's the case, then this is still going to be really good because you're not losing any damage. You have extra chance to proc Lucky Shot. It's just a net positive. but it's worded so strangely right here that I'm not fully certain what exactly it means. And same thing for the enhanced version, except you max out at minus 20%, and you deal extra damage once. So, yeah, I don't know. Once again, I'm going to have to understand what this means to figure out if this is figure out if it's a good or bad thing in terms of if the scroll got better or worse. It sounds to me like it got worse, because once again, you're not able to get the extra bonus damage now. But I couldn't call it. We'll just have to go in and figure it out. A couple of changes to some weapons. The octopus jet. Albai, the dog, can now release the water column while dual wielding. I don't know how, but he can. So dual wield jets is now probably an extremely viable build. I'm trying to think of the way I would use that. Sort of like a you know, I've got one octopus jet sucking enemies off, and I've got the other one shooting on them, you know, spraying all over them, and then I can switch and have the other one sucking them off and the other one shooting all over them, and I think that'd be a really good combo. Or just go all in, and I mean, 2 water jets at the same time is a lot of damage. Anyway, brainstorming on the fly here. Then the Lightning Sauna. Currently, the Lightning Sauna can only provide shields to teammates when they don't have shields. If teammates have shields, bullets will pass through them and refresh its duration. And then magnification mechanism adjustment. Now when players use a certain type of sniper, the adjusted magnification will be synchronized across all sniper rifles of the same name within the match. And then optimize the visual effects of some weapons as well. A couple of very small UI adjustments. Optimize the bonus criteria of Demonic Crystal. Guaranteed a cold scroll drop from the purple crystal. And then optimize the interaction experience of controller. Most in-game content can now be selected and interacted with through controllers. Players can now jump over small enemies on the same plane by leaping from their heads. So you can Goomba stomp an enemy and jump from their head. I don't know I don't know if there's any real value to that, but you can do it now. So that's cool. And then as always, here are the bug fixes. If you would like to also pause and read through these bug fixes, go for it. I looked through them a little bit. It you know, looks fine. I haven't really been dealing with any of these. So yeah, there we go. That's it for the patch notes. I think obviously the big thing here for me is Reincarnation 9. Excited to try it and see how it goes. I am excited to see some of these new scrolls and see how they work, but Reincarnation 9 is the big thing. How good is the new difficulty? How difficult is the new difficulty? I like the fact that they're not just bumping up health pool values. I think that's a big mistake a lot of games make, is like, obviously enemies need to be harder to defeat, but if the only thing that makes them harder is that they're a meat sponge and they just keep getting more and more health, that's not fun. That's not interactive. That's not good, in my opinion. So I like that. But we'll have to see how hard it is, how good they did, how balanced it is. And I'm very excited to try it, and I will be trying it soon on Twitch. So once again, check that link down below if you want to see me try out all the new stuff. I'd really appreciate it. But regardless, let me know your thoughts on the new update. Let me know if you can explain any of the things I was confused about. And for anybody who actually plays the Hedgehog more, let me know if your initial thoughts on these changes are good or bad for the character. I'm excited to try them out more and maybe bump them up in my rankings of enjoyability. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully you'll have a wonderful rest of your day. Love each and every one of your faces, and I will catch you all in the next video.